Very warm welcome wherever you are, and I hope this one finds you well and you are well blessed wherever you are. Very quickly today, this topic I want us to discuss about one type of nurse. Remember the last episode I promised you that we will be handling each and every episode the 12 types of nurses that I mentioned in the first episode at the introductory part. So today we want to talk about one type of nurse. Then next episode will follow the other type of episode. Just like I said, one of the listener decided to ask a question and wanted us to talk in depth about the types of nurses, their benefits, qualifications, and some of the requirements that are also needed. Sorry for the interruption, the wind is really disturbing here. Anyway, I don't know what I will do, but wind is really interrupting. Anyway, I am your tutor Mark and Edo, and this is Tuesday class job market, where we embark on discussions involving the employment, how to maintain the employment, how to become the best employer, the best employee, and how to become a good performer, especially when you are initiating the programs, when you are doing what you love, to inspire, to make people do what they want to do, not because they are supposed to do it. So welcome again on board. Now, very quickly, just in brief, last episode I talked about the 12 main types of nurses that are really paying, because a nurse is a general name, but inside the career we have different subdivisions, and these subdivisions is what we decided that we'll talk about. There are many titles, because all of them are health officers, but there are many titles and all that. So today we are going to talk about the first and is among the least within the 12, meaning that I'll be talking in ascending order, starting from the lowly paid to the highest among the 12. So today directly we are going to talk about the LPN. LPN, generally these are the licensed practical nurses. Remember, we talked about the registered nurses, we talked about the certified nurses, the journalist nurses, and all types of nurses. Today specifically we are going to concentrate on the LPN nurses. What are the requirements? What are the educational level that needed? The possible duties that they carry, whether they are on the higher range that RN or they are below the RN, and then what are some of the qualifications, the subject career-wise that you're supposed to undertake as you look forward to be an LPN. Then also some of the payment. I did some of the research under the US Bureau standards of statistics, especially on labor payment. I googled and I searched some of that in relation to International Labor Organization, how such nurses are supposed to be paid worldwide. So that is the basic presentation of today, and please stay with me. If you are watching me for the first time, please give me the support, give the channel your support. Please, your subscription matters a lot, and your thumbs up, that is liking the channel, liking the video, commenting, sharing, that is just a bigger up to you, your supporter and my supporter. Please, may God bless you, and may we move together in all conditions. Now let's go into it. Who is an LPN? Generally these abbreviations, but LPN we can call licensed practical nurses. Licensed practical nurses, meaning that these are nurses that have been licensed to practice this health sector. They generally work under the supervision of the main doctor or the RN. So basically that one should tell you that these are people who are below the registered nurses. Licensed nurses, they work under the supervision of the physicians or the registered nurses or the doctors, meaning that they serve as assistants. In relation, we'll be seeing the differences between the RN and the LPN. We'll see in a time being. They take care of the basic nurses' duties in health areas, either in the community or in a larger health area like hospital, or maybe just in a family. They offer basic health care activities to the patient or to the community, and mostly, remember, they are under the watch of the nurses, registered nurses, and all that. What is the difference between the RN and the LPN? RN, generally I've told you, RN, these are registered nurses. LPN, these are licensed practical nurses. So what is the main difference? The main difference, we can say that the RN, these are already licensed nurses and they have been certified, or they have passed a certain type of examination which allows them to offer medication direct to the patient, meaning that they are in direct contract in health providing to the sick people, and they can work in intensive care units, not under observation of the doctor. They can work and stand within themselves. But LPN, they must be under the watch, meaning that LPN act below the RN. That is the main difference. Now, sometimes, or according to where you are working or where you are operating, or certainly where you are offering your services, especially I did my research mostly in the US, you get that LPN sometimes can be called VPN. Not VPN really, but LVN. LVN, these are the same as licensed vocational nurses, which is the same as licensed practical nurses. So whenever you hear the word licensed vocational nurses, they are just the same to those of licensed practical nurses. The difference only comes in according to where they work. Like generally in New York areas and those areas of Texas and California, mostly they call them LVN, and the other part of US, they just generalize them as LPN. So there is no difference between LPN and LVN. All of them are nurses who offer basic care to the sick or to the community, or they help the doctors and registered nurses to offer their duties. That one generally should have told you that there are more qualifications that are needed for you to be an RN compared to LPN. LPN generally is a basic unit, a basic entrance unit. And the reason why, to some extent, we can call them vocational nurses, these are the people who are still, maybe they have finished certain level. Like we talked that if you're taking the nurses courses, the first 12 or 18 months, from that place you can start acting as a licensed practical nurse or a licensed vocational nurse. You see, you have not completed your due respect or journey of learning the nurse, but at the moment, like in basic general career choices, we can normally say that if you are doing a 4-year course, by the time you are hitting 3rd year in a university, you can be employed as an intern, or you can be employed as a helper, or as how do we call it, intern or internship, something like that. You are going for internship somewhere, meaning that you are going to gain more experience in whatever you are learning. So LPN and LVN, they are acting in such a level. They can still be in the ladder of education, yes, but at some level they are certified, especially after completing 12 to 18 months in studying nurses. They are qualified to be to work or to offer help, but under strict supervision of either physician, doctor, or what we call the registered nurses. Now, what are some of the requirements? Some of the requirements to be a licensed practical nurse or a licensed vocational nurse. The job really doesn't require the 4-year plus or the maximum level of education like some nurses would be. Remember, we briefly talked about the statistical nurse or the educator nurse. Those ones, they can hire their education to the doctorate level because they are looking at the leadership position. But for you to be a licensed practical nurse or a vocational nurse, you don't need those higher level of education, meaning that you are starting at the basic level. So we don't really require the associate or the bachelor degree, but rather a completion of formal training program. Something that I was telling you is around 12 to 18 months, you can start practicing as you gather the experience. The requirements, for example, are considered less demanding. Instead, you will need to complete accredited program or accredited course for you to be certified to or certified to start working as a licensed practical nurse, meaning that in either the university or local college in the community or that private area which is offering the health units or health courses, especially in nursing, so long as the accredited credential or accredited learning institution. And remember, we can have a learning institution that is licensed to offer education basics, but they are not accredited when it comes to health sector. So as a student, as somebody who is thinking of joining the nurse courses, please make sure you join an institution that is approved, it's licensed, and is accredited specifically on the course that you are going to undertake. Many schools, many learning institutions, they dupe you. After paying your amount of money, by the end of the day, your certificate will not take you anywhere because that certificate is not accredited. So these are some of the basic things that you are supposed to look before you indulge into such learning areas. But if you are interested in finishing your training relatively quickly, the best place to start with is LPN, because you gather experience as you go, you gather experience as you grow, and you gather experience dealing with different patients, dealing with different communities and different people, give you better learning chances. So by the time comes when you further your education in nursing, you will be well better placed. The role required in education and seat approved area, just like I've told you, between 12 to 18 months, you will be qualified to be LPN or LVN. You must pass the National Council License Examination Council rather. Even though you are going through the practical school, you have gone through accredited school, by the end of the day, you must pass this examination before we call you LPN. There is a special exam body that satisfies these nurses before they embark on the practical in the health unit area. That one is called the NCLE. That one, the National Council for Licenses, or we call the licensing providing course, you must pass their exam. What will you be studying in LPN? Suppose you are taking that course. That was also another question. Maybe some of the courses you will be learning there, because remember, this is just a go through, a perusing kind of. Some of the courses you will be going through, we have the introduction to nursing courses generally. Then you will do a course in science courses, some science courses. Remember the subject I told you. Subject selection, the biology is there, the chemistry is there, the physics is there. So generally, there must be a special science course, because as a nurse, you have to know some maths, you have to know some statistics, you must be good in research, you must be good in communication skill, and more also your ethos, and then emotional influence must be at top range, because you are going to deal with the people who are desperate, you are going to deal with people who are sick, you are going to deal with people who have lost hope in life. So you have to encourage them, meaning that you must be passionate about the work you are going to do before you indulge in the nursing duties. You will also talk about the nursing skills. Apart from the introduction to nursing courses, you must talk about the nursing skills in general. You must talk about them. Then also you have the patient care, basic care units, the geriatric nursing, then the population and specialty courses. We have those specialty courses because some of these patients, you might be meeting patients that are not 100% okay, patients that are desperate, patients that are vulnerable in the community. So you must have a special course on how to handle such kind of patients, which will help you to move along. Do you need licensing? Yes, you need a license. That's why you are called licensed practical nurse. What license will you need? That's another question. After successful completion of the normal or basic programs at the nursing school, you need to go through NCL exams. Remember I told you that. National Council for Licensing Examination. You have to do it. Even though you have qualified, you have finished with your diploma, you have finished your certificate course in nursing, you must pass this exam, because from which you will be licensed. Yes, you need a license on that. Now, how much does it pay? Do we really get paid? Generally, according to the research worldwide, I did some research, especially I told you, mostly I go to salary.com. We have careers and versus the world, how they're supposed to be paid. I did some of that. Then also based in US, Bureau Standards of Statistics, or maybe the US, let me tell you the US that I use, the Bureau of Labor of Statistics in US, yeah, they say LPN, they are paid, and generally in a year they earn between $48,000 to $50,000 annually, meaning that if we break it down maybe per month or per hour, you know, some of these areas we work and they are paid per hour. So an LPN or LVN might be taking home around $45 to $50 per hour. and maybe in a day you are working for 8 hours. So mathematicians, you can calculate that and know how much you get per month. Roughly it will be, if I'm not wrong, maybe around 5 to 6,000 or between 5 to 7,000 per month, which is not bad as a starting rate, because after graduation and now you are fully qualified, you will be earning more about that. So that one marks the end of our presentation today. I'm very sure I've talked about in depth about that. The second one will be talking another type of nurse, and that will be the registered nurse. So don't miss the next episode, and please continue subscribing, continue supporting me. My YouTube account is called Andedomark. My Facebook account, Andedomark. My Facebook page, Common Sense Isn't Common. Every first letter in that sentence is capitalized. Common, capital C. Sense, capital S. Isn't, is not. Is small letter, not, N is capital. Common, capital C. You will get me there. That's my page. Please like it, follow my page, and please be my person. Direct WhatsApp +254 711223525. Email andedomark@yahoo.com. Thank you for being my viewer, and thank you for your support. May God bless you. See you next time. It was nice having you. This is your developer, Andedomark. Bye bye. See you. I love you all.